Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. This is your boy Simbawa Nibaye Jr., aka TK, and my man Omar Wills. We call him O. Say what's up to the peeps.
What's going on, good people?
It is another lovely Wednesday, and it's a little different this time around. Frame of Mind Inc. has actually moved to another building, and if you can see behind me, those of you who are catching the replay of this, you can't see, but those of you who are catching us live here, you can see behind me, I got some equipment. There we are, back here behind me this way. You can see the door back there. So we are kind of in transition from one building to the next. We apologize for last week. We weren't able to do our podcast due to technical difficulties, but we are back this week, and we're doing our stock trade and investment talks, my man. I am going to get in and out of the way. I'm going to apologize to you guys in advance. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to actually throw an audible in here because I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. You know why? Because it's what we do.
It's what we do. Exactly.
Affirmation Wednesday. That's
what we do.
Affirmation Wednesday, and we're going to knock this out today before we even get started. So, if you're ready to say your affirmations, sing it along with me. Well, not sing it, say it along with me, or write them down, get the pad out, whatever you want to do. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stress-less day. Today, I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today, all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today, all things will line up for my good. Today, I'll become better than who and what I was yesterday. I am a go-getter. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. All right. We got that in and out of the way. And let's get it. So I am going to digress and let my man O take over. And let's get it with this stock trade and investment talk of September. Take it away, O.
All right, here we go. So tonight we're gonna get right to the sauce. We ain't even gonna fluff it. Again, I want to say thank you to my man TK for giving me the opportunity. And let's get right to it. Tonight we're gonna talk about 10 indicators to let you know it's a great company to invest in. Also, if you have your own business, some of these things you might want to look out for yourself just to see where you might stand. So, but this is 10 indicators, and I'm not talking about technical indicators like on the chart, but like things to look at on a fundamental side. So here we go. Let's start. Number 1. And again, like I said, go back a few weeks if you want to learn some other things. I think the past couple stock courses that we've done on this podcast have been great. There's some good information there. And if you put them all together, I think you got something. I mean, it's something good enough to where you can actually make some money. So let's go. 10 great indicators to picking out a great company. The first thing, rising profits. Okay. You want to get a company that makes money consistently, quarter over quarter. Without profits, guess what happens? A company goes out of business. Okay. That's self-explanatory. Number 2. I'm going to try to slow down. Number 2, rising sales. So when a company's sales are rising, it's an overall positive sign for the company. So let me give you an example. In order to keep sales rising, companies will do innovative things to change that. So for example, Apple. Apple's phone sales were their big thing. They were their big ticket for a long time. And then maybe around 2015, 2014, things kind of started to stagnate and kind of go sideways. So what they did was, in order to keep sales rising, they started focusing on wearables. A lot of us may have Apple Watches, earbuds, things of that nature. They started focusing on the wearables. And when they did that, voila, sales start rising again. Okay. So you want to look for companies that innovate. Because sometimes you can sell one thing and it's going up. And then before you know it, it just starts to go sideways. You need to come up with another product or tweak something to get your sales to rise again. Okay, that's 2. 3, a company with low liabilities. And what that means is a company with little debt on its books. Too much debt can kill a company. Okay, so and even just for us to relate to the household, too much debt in the house can kill us, right? Like we got too much things that we gotta pay for or pay down. That can add, that can hurt our household, So we want to also, like, you want a company that cash flows, okay? Also, like, you want a household that cash flows, right? Okay, so that's 3. So low liabilities, a company with little to no debt on the books. Number 4. Hold on. Number 4. Okay. A stock at a bargain price. So if you're listening, get your pen and paper for this one. How do you know it's a bargain? Well, it's a thing called a PE ratio. Okay. Now this is all, this is based upon what the experts say. And like, you can look this up on Investopedia, but to find a stock price at a bargain price, there's a PE ratio, which is price per share over earnings per share. So for example, if the price of a stock is $15 and the earnings per share is $1, that PE ratio is 15. So you don't have to know all that. All you need, like, usually when you look up and research a stock, you'll see the PE ratio. What you want to look for, or what they say, is a PE ratio that's 15 and down is usually at a bargain price. Okay, so remember that when you're looking for a stock to buy, or looking into a stock, or looking into a company that you think you might like, look at the PE ratio. Look for a number that's 15 or down. Okay, or you can get in contact with me through this podcast, and my method doesn't worry about all of that. My method buys it at a good price that shows you where institutional buyers are buying at. Okay, so, but if you don't want to know the technicals, you can look at the PE ratio, and if you see anything less than 15 or less, it's usually at a good bargain price. And again, that's price per share divided by earnings per share. Any questions so far, good brother?
Nah, I think we're good, man. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, keep it rolling. Dividends. So number 5, you want to see the dividends growing. Okay. We talked about dividends on previous shows. So that's just companies sharing back the profits that they get from quarter to quarter, or sometimes it's quarterly, biannually, or annually. So if you see, let's just say a company is paying 30 cents a share one quarter or 1 year, and the next year it goes up to 45 cents a share, and the next year 50 cents a share, and so on. That is a sign or an indication that the company is growing. Okay, or it's a good company to invest in. Okay. Number 6, you hope that the market is growing, and what that means is, so is it a growing market? Like, which means, is, are consumers buying a specific product that this company offers? Just for an example, if you can remember when people bought Uggs, a lot of consumers were buying Uggs. Another one, iPhones. A lot of consumers are buying iPhones, and I know people battle between what's the best phone, but if you look around, 90 to 85% of people have an iPhone. A lot of consumers are now starting to get into electric cars. Okay, even streaming is even popular now. So let's just think about this. If you just take the 4 things I named, maybe not the Uggs, because that was a fad at one time, but let's just say iPhone. Who makes that? That's Apple. Ticker symbol AAPL. Electric cars. Who does that? Well, Ford just unveiled that the electric F-150. You got companies like Tesla. You got companies. Apple even said that they're going to get into electric cars. So that's Apple for 2. So Apple, out of these 4 top things that I just named, Apple is one company that does 2 of them, right? And Apple also does streaming. Wow, didn't even. I'm sitting there looking like. So yeah, so Apple does streaming too. So what companies does streaming? You got Spotify, Apple again. Trying to think off the top of my head. That's fine, but just think of streaming companies. So the market is growing. So like we're streaming now over the internet. You got YouTube, which is owned by Google, streaming, right? We're streaming through a thing called StreamYard, but that's not public. But just if you could find things that power that or things that make that go, another good thing to invest in. So again, we make this harder than it is, and we use these products and we patronize these products on a daily basis.
Hey, I just want to interject just one minute. So we've heard that Apple has come up a good number of times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this instance, I'm going to say this, that this may sound real corny and cliche-ish, but
No, you got it.
An apple a day?
Brother.
An apple a day keeps that bank account looking real nice.
And you know what's funny? Just to piggyback off that, man. Now with the ability for fractional shares, like, and what that is you don't have to buy the whole thing. Mm-hmm. You could just put any amount of money towards a stock.
Yeah,
you actually could nibble on an apple a day. You could put $1 an apple a day, $5 a week. But yeah, as I was as I was going through the things, I'm like, hold on, Apple covers all of this stuff: streaming, electric cars, and iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So,
and if you look at it, Apple at one point in time, after the late Steve Jobs, passed away, there was a bit of a decline because Apple was trying to find itself in innovation, and most of the ideas came from Steve Jobs.
Right.
So now, what Apple has now done is they said, let's get into these other areas of business and increase what we already do and get in. So now Apple has found a way to grow the business aside from what they already do. And since the name is already a household name and one of the top in the industry, who's not going to want to partner with Apple? You can have a piece of that pie or a piece of that apple. That's all I'm saying.
And to buy one apple, it costs you about $150 right now.
So that's pretty good.
Exactly, man. And let me just be correct on that. Let's see. You know what? I don't want to slow down my computer. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's about $150, maybe $145 right now. Yeah. So to get one apple, it's about $145 to $150.
There you go.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Where was I? I said market is growing, right? So let's just do 1 through 5 before I continue. Number 1, rising profits. Number 2, rising sales. Number 3, a company with low liabilities, meaning little to no debt on the books. Number 4, a stock at a bargain price, which has a good PE ratio, which I went over already, which if the PE ratio is 15 or below, it's a good number. Number 5, the dividends are increasing over time. And number 6, the company is in a growing market. Okay. Let's continue. Number 7, if you're writing this down, so the company, a good company, indicator that the company is good. It has a high barrier to entry. You'll probably ask me, what's that mean? Okay, I'll give you an example. A company that is competing. So like say, so what that means, it's a company that is competing with a company that has a high barrier to entry. It has a harder time to overcome because of their advantages. For example, Coca-Cola has a secret recipe that nobody knows. Been in business for 100-something years, right? They don't care if you make Coca. They don't care if you make another cola. But their advantage is you don't have our sauce, right? KFC also has a secret recipe. They don't care if you make chicken. They don't care if you fry chicken, but you do not have the 8 original flavors for KFC chicken wing. So a high barrier to entry mean like anybody can try it, but you don't have our sauce, right? So for an example, everybody in the NBA, for a better analogy, everybody in the NBA has a jump shot, but everybody's jump shot's not Steph Curry. The NBA in itself is a high barrier to entry. Everybody can play basketball, but everybody can't play basketball in the NBA.
That's a great analogy right there.
Okay.
Everybody got a jump shot.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't got a Steph Curry.
Everybody don't have a Steph Curry, right? It's so yeah. So you want a company that has high. I mean, we can name them too. Like there's a lot of Mexican restaurants, but Chipotle has a high barrier to entry because they've done deals with local farms where they have fresh food in their restaurants on a daily basis. Hard to overcome, which makes sense why their stock prices of like around $1,000, right? Who would have thought? Chipotle.
And they're constantly opening Chipotle all over the place now.
Exactly.
Constantly.
Exactly. And in a more technical term, if you want to get even technical, people call it a moat. If you think of war terms, like a moat protects you from the enemy, right? Like you get surrounded by the moat. So like there's different moats. So like, again, that secret recipe is a moat for Coca-Cola. Chipotle has a moat, which is like they're in business with local farms where they can keep fresh lettuce and tomatoes on a daily basis. Hard to beat, right? KFC, like I said, secret recipe. You can make chicken all you want, but it's not going to taste like ours. You know what I'm saying? So that's number 7. 8, a low political profile. So you don't want a stock that could be affected by politics. Sometimes that works in your favor. Like it was a few years back where solar companies went through the moon because like the government said they were going to back, a solar initiative. When you hear stuff like that, solar companies go through the roof. But you want a company that doesn't have a high political profile. Just for an example, in China, as of late, China says all educational groups or all educational companies, like tutoring companies that were for profit, they just flat out said you can't make money anymore. So like anything related to education, and if they were a for-profit company and on the stock market, they pretty much shut it down and said you no longer can be for-profit and you're non-profit now, which it sent the stocks tumbling. I was actually in one. It was a company called TAL Education Group. It cracked. And they also, what China also did was they put like a stipulation on how long kids could play video games. And what that did was it tanked the video game market because a lot of those companies are, over there. So if you're in a company that can be affected immediately by anything that a country says or a politician says, you just got to weigh that out. It's not saying it's a bad thing, but if it can get affected like that, that could be a bad thing. That's why a lot of people are kind of staying away from China stocks right now, because nobody knows what's going on over there. Okay. So
I would say, that whole video game thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to say here, you heard it first here from the Family Minded podcast. America, please adopt that policy. I'm just saying, like that would be if it's not an educational platform or educational video game, like we should be adopting that because
Right,
we're losing a lot of our young people to video games with a lack of education.
right, right.
Now I want to go off into a tangent, but I mean, let's just think about that. The video game industry is making tons of money, but everything that makes tons of money may not necessarily be good for you because too much of one thing ain't good for you. That's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, you're on it. You're hitting it on the head. I think again, when you look at countries like that, they're thinking years down the line. They're trying to be competitive down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So what could we do now to affect our country for the long run that can beat out the competition? Well, guess what? You know what? We'll limit this video game usage. We'll limit your social media usage. We'll I know a lot of people don't like it because they, as in America,
Right.
we want it's my rights. I got my freedoms, right? But like sometimes too much freedom. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't want to get going a rant.
Exactly. Let's stay on topic.
Let's stay on topic. This is about the great stocks. Here we go. We almost finished, people. Let's see. Where was low political profile. And 9 is you want a company that's optionable. What that means is it has stock options, or you can sell options on the market too. So what that does is a company that has optionable, it's an optionable company. The stock has multiple ways to getting profit. So like you can buy the stock and then sell calls against it. Or again, I'm not going to get all deep in what that means, but what that means is there's more than one way to make money off of one company if it's optionable, which also in turn makes it a good company to invest in. You can like the options market was created for insurance. So you would buy shares and then you buy puts against it for insurance. So like say you just bought $1,000 worth of shares and then you might buy $200 worth of puts just in case the stock crashed, right? So it's just protection. So you want a stock that has that option of protection. Or you, like I said, you can there's ways to rent out shares to the market. Again, options are great. There's a lot of different ways you can make money with those. And last but not least, you want a stock that will benefit off of a mega trend. A mega trend is nothing but a cultural trend that the company may service. Okay, like so for an example, say baby boomers. Okay, we noticed that a lot of senior citizens will be coming into like out of the marketplace and are going to need help, and there's going to be an influx of senior citizens because of baby boomers. Well, there's stocks that take care of that. For example, there's a teledoc stock, which means you go to the doctors over the computer. Okay, there's a company called Hillrom. They make hospital beds and beds for nursing homes. Oh, and I should give you the ticker symbol. Teledoc is TDOC, Hillrom is HRC, and then there's a United Healthcare company that so the influx of senior citizens, all of these things they service a megatrend, and United Healthcare is UNH. Also a mega trend that's a cultural trend. Tablets, iPhones, computer screens that are touchscreen. Well, there's a company that makes the glass for that. The company's called Corning. Their ticker symbol is GLW. So like that's a mega trend. Like everything has a touchscreen. Like my laptop has touchscreen. Our phones have touchscreen. Like everything's you're touching screens at if you're ordering food out. They're getting rid of workers and putting more kiosk in. There's a company that makes that actual glass. Corning's the company. GLW. Also another mega or a cultural trend. Financial tech. So like that's things like, so we like to send money over our phone now with what? Cash App. We like to bank over our phone. We like to, we do transactions over our phone. Somebody says cash at me or what's your Venmo? Well, there's companies that are fintech companies, which means financial tech. So you got companies like Square. Okay. That's SQ is their ticker. You got companies like PayPal. PYPL is their ticker. You got I'm trying to name some more fintechs. I'm trying to think of some more fintechs. Who just bought? Okay, there's a lot of buy now, pay later stocks, like a firm. You ever heard of a firm?
Yes, sir.
Right. So like a firm is a stock. That's FFRM. Hold on, let me get it right. AFRM. So that's a buy now, pay later. But so like that's a trend, right? That if you see that a company services a mega trend, that is a great indicator that you should be getting in it. I just don't take this is not stock advice, but I just bought a company called ASTS. They're AST Space Mobile. So rather than they got satellites where like if you're on your phone, there's no dead spots anymore. No matter how much in the country you are. But they got to get their satellites in space. I just invested in that company. So again, that's not stock advice. I'm just saying I think that's the way things are going. And that is the end of my presentation. Any questions?
Well, number one, I would say good stuff. Top.
Thank you, brother.
And if you guys had your pen and pad, paper, tablet, whatever you used, hope you were taking notes. A lot of good information here. A lot of good information for me as well. Like, this is not my area. This is not my thing, but I rely on O heavily for a lot of what I do. So like I said, I got my O package. If you want to really dive deep into what he's doing, like I said, there's a number of things he does that are not, conventional, that are unconventional, but they work. And he's been doing this for quite some time now. So you want to get your O package, hit him up. You can always contact him right here on the Friend of Mine 8 podcast. You can always, get us on our email, FOFM podcast at friendofmine8.com, or give us a call at 302-689-3499 and give us a message or get in contact with our call people, and we will definitely get you in contact with O and get you started on that O package. Because listen, there's no reason for anyone to say I can't make money with the stock market or trading or investing or even digital currency. And I mean, all kind of embodies the market, but there's no reason why you can't do something to make money now. And like, there's a long-term game, there's a short-term game, and there's all kinds of stuff in between too, as well. You know what I mean? So there's a way to do it. I'm gonna say this one thing here, and I'm not sure if I said this on another podcast before. I know I did mention the board game Cash Flow. The board game Cash Flow that was created by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and the game is called Cash Flow. And so this game teaches you literally how to manage money, how to go from being someone who works in an occupation, whatever you are. And so, like, let's say you're a doctor, or you're a teacher, or you work at a drugstore or a department store, and you're a sales rep that's working on the floor. Any occupation, you have an occupation, or a nurse, and you're working to become an entrepreneur or someone who is in control of their time and their freedom. It teaches you how to have a relationship with money that goes beyond what you've been taught in the school system. I'm just going to say that right there. Okay. It takes you beyond that. And the game literally teaches you how to quote unquote get out of the rat race. Now, if you want to stay in the rat race, and I'm not saying the rat race is bad, I'm not saying that. if what you do occupational wise, if you're a nurse, doctor, teacher, lawyer, veterinarian, construction worker, whatever you do, and you love doing that, you're like, look, I'm good where I'm at. Do what you do. Like, stay where you at. Don't let us try to convince you to do otherwise. But if you're looking to make or have extra money coming in other than that one occupation, these are things you can do to have extra funds coming in, so you're not always digging out of your personal bank account. You can have another account set aside that you're making money off of that piece of Apple that you have, or that piece of Netflix, or that digital currency you put money into. And don't let the so-called people on TV determine how it is you do your trading, your stock, and your investment. Listen to those who are talking to you, like my man O, who's giving you the information on how to go about doing things. Like I said, you want to go deeper, you want to go a deep dive. Like, a lot of this he's giving you is surface stuff. It's not, but we all know that everything under the surface is where stuff really is at. You see this big old tall tree out here, but underneath that ground, those roots run deep and they run for miles. But that tree stays in one spot. There's multiple roots to that tree that helps it grow to where it's supposed to go. Multiple streams. If you look at any large body of water, there are other streams of water that lead to that big body of water. Multiple streams create multiple reams that you will benefit from. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't got nothing else. Anything else before we go?
Nah, man, that's good. Just again, if you've been listening, just go over all the stock ones. It's enough information in there to get. I mean, you won't even need me. But again, like TK said, there are layers to this. I mean, the surface is enough just to get invested in long-term stuff, but like there's layers to this. Like when I was just touching on the options, like you can rent stocks to the market, like you can rent shares to the market. So you can use the market like real estate. But again, that's the layers, right? So
you got to get the old package in order to
exactly.
But as far as I know, I think we have 4 stock trade and investment podcasts out there. So we're doing one once a month. We're a little off our game for September, but it's all good. So I think we go back as far as June, I would think. June.
Yeah, I think June. Yeah, June started it all.
So as far back as June. So go back to June, listen to the first one, listen to the one in July, the one in August, and then we got this one here. So you can kind of get, your foundation, going on how to go back and get this thing started. So that's it. That's all we got today. So we've been, again, we've moved to a different location, a new building. So we're in the process. Actually, I don't even have my microphone out today. That's how discombobulated I am today. So I'm actually no microphone today, but I'll definitely have it by next week. And that's been a very challenging past month as we're moving and getting things together. So we'll have a better setup. I'll have a better setup next time. My apologies to you guys, but I was not going to let a microphone stop me from doing what we do. Last week we had technical difficulties. This week, I'm not letting a microphone stop me doing from what we do, because this is how we do. Frame of Mind Inc. We think, speak it, and achieve it. And so we are going to live what we preach, or practice what we preach, however you want to say it. All right. So for all of us here at Frame of Mind Inc., thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're looking at this. And as always, continue to always think it, speak it, and achieve it. Ahala. Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.